Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to Dev Mentor Dave channel live stream on Twitch and on YouTube. Might be a little short today. I don't know. I'm not sure exactly 100% what we're going to do. Just saw some news come across of some stuff going on here, um, and my computer's kind of being weird and slow for some reason. Um, it's acting like it's dropping a bunch of frames, so I don't know if you guys are having difficulty, let me know on here. But yeah, some tough stuff going on in the world right now, and just a lot of junk, and just saw some more stuff right before I came on. Um, so not as happy go lucky as I usually am, and I apologize for that. Um, we live in a broken world, and I think there's a lot of yesterday we talked about a lot of um, frustration that we have as developers, and um, layoffs and things like that, harsh realities of the industry in which we work. And to some degree we just have to kind of accept that and move forward, and um, just do our best to recognize how to interact in the world that we're living in. And I think it's good though to recognize that the development world isn't just difficult and hard. um, it's also full of a lot of really good things. um, it's easy to look at the world right now, and see a lot of bad, see a lot of pain. Um, I would go so far as others do to call it evil. Um, but something that I've noticed in the dev world over my years is you have some people who are jerks. You have some people um, who are very prideful, and they like to put other people down and things like that. You're going to have that in any industry, but um, one thing that I have noticed about the dev world in general, in my opinion, and really even more so, especially in the tendrils of the dev world that I have spent most of my time in, open source, and specifically more recently in the Laravel world. um, there is often a much more of a unified um, kindness that is there, that often is not in other industries and other um, parts of the world, especially amongst developers themselves. Um, I think there are aspects of backbiting and one-upmanship, and trying to look better than other people, and in other areas and aspects of the software development world. Like management and things like that. You can start to get into a lot more of the political nature of things. Um, but from the dev perspective, being a developer and interacting with other developers um, has largely been a positive uh, opportunity and reality for me. And I that's one of the reasons why I do what I'm doing here, in trying to be helpful and provide insight and answer questions for those of you who are just starting the journey, or those of you maybe who have been in it a while and maybe they want to see if what they're experiencing is the right and normal thing to be experiencing, or if they're doing something wrong. So I would definitely want to be a help with that, because I think one of the beautiful things about the development world, again, specifically for developers in that specific part of the development industry, is there is a generally a lot of desire to help one another. There's generally a lot of um, desire to not just get ahead of each other, but to actually reach back and help somebody up along the way, and to help them um as others journey along the same journey, because we all kind of approach it from different directions and different starting points and all that stuff. And so it's really nice to know that other people out there are trying to do the same thing. We're all trying to be successful, but especially in the development world, I see a lot of people not just trying to be successful, and not just trying to turn around and resell their success. That's another part of the world in general. Outside of a lot of this craziness and violence and anger and hate and all the things that you're seeing out there right now, there is this whole mentality of greed, and it doesn't matter what political persuasion you have. Greed is a human thing, and it's pervasive in humanity. And I'm not saying that people should not profit from their knowledge, that people should not profit from uh, teaching other people things. I have taught other people things for pay before. I think it's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But oftentimes people can do it in a very sleazy way, and they can turn very little knowledge into what looks like a lot of knowledge, and really reach out and kind of dupe a lot of people, take advantage of people. And in many other parts of the world, you see that happening a lot. Many other industries. I just think of, I was listening to radio on the way to work this morning, and some guy was selling his real estate guru stuff, right? Um, is it wrong to charge people to teach them how to handle real estate? No. But there's only a certain amount of things to real estate, and really you could probably learn most of them online. you know and I think that's one thing that the dev community does very well. Sure, there's plenty of places where you can spend money to learn things, but there are tons of people on YouTube for free. Now, they're probably hoping to garner a following and make money from YouTube, but for free to the end user, have a lot of great content to teach you, to help you move forward in your journey. And because I think that's kind of a natural part of being a developer. I think we struggle so much on our own. We want to help other people not struggle as much as we did. And especially the more we see companies requiring more and more things for junior devs, especially to even get into the market. Because here's the thing, senior developers, we know that we need junior developers. And it's the companies that don't realize that, because we know eventually we're going to either move into management like I have and not code very much, or we're going to be out of the industry through retirement or health or whatever it is, right? And this industry is really going to suffer here in a few years because of their unwillingness to accept that junior developers need to be mentored and brought into this industry in a way that is going to make them successful, not just a way that's going to get what you want out of them. And so I applaud the development industry overall for the way that we tend to reach out to one another and help one another. Before before AI, we had Stack Overflow, and we had YouTube, and we had all kinds of other forums for people to share information, and in meetups and things like that. And so I just kind of on a somber note today, and I apologize for that. Just with, again, some of the news and things coming out over the last few days, and Um, even this afternoon, just violence and hate and anger, and that's going to be a reality in a fallen and corrupt world like we live in. But it's unfortunate, and I do want to at least take a moment and share that I think in the midst of all that, um, the dev world is a nice place to be for the most part. Maybe not when you're looking for a job, but interacting with other developers, I think, is generally a fairly positive situation. Um, Again, are there some developers that are not good mentors? Absolutely. Are there some developers that don't want anything to do with helping you? Absolutely. Um, from my experience, those are fewer and farther between than in a lot of other industries. Um, I think part of it is because as developers, I don't think generally we have this feeling that someone's going to take our job. Um, I think we understand that the longer we're in this world of development, the more um, the more difficult it's going to get, and the people who have been doing it longer will be able to handle that better. And so, um, I don't think I'm not afraid of somebody coming taking a dev job from one of my devs. I'm not afraid of a junior dev coming in and taking over. It's just so complex. I I would rather prepare for the person who's going to leave by having someone and mentoring them, than feel like somebody's going to take my job. And I think that's fairly normal in the development world. I don't think I'm unique in that. So again, I just wanted to start off this afternoon. Again, sorry for the kind of the somber notes and commentary. Um, just a lot of stuff in the news to this last few days, and um, yeah. So just kind of reflecting on things there, and reflecting on my experience in the development world, and um, yeah. So hopefully, you guys have the same experience in your development journey, however long that is, and you're able to find other people who are interested in helping you out along the way. Hopefully, more interpersonally, more immediately to you and your context than even me. But I just want to say thank you even to you guys for jumping in here and supporting me, trying to help you. So thanks a lot for that. And anyway, if you are watching live on YouTube or on LinkedIn, jump in the chat, say hello. Let's change the topic here, so we're not quite as depressed as I have been for most of the afternoon here. So let's see. Ming's been typing a few things in here. Let me see what's going on here. Let's see. Says it's really tough when you land your first role. They hire you and expect you to deliver ASAP, and don't understand where your position is and the expectations to meet. Yeah. Um, Again, it's I don't want to beat a dead horse, but a lot of companies think they know how to hire developers and often don't. Unfortunately, development is a really unique industry. Everyone has different backgrounds, and it's a great community to be in. Breaking in is tough, but the barrier to entry is pretty low. You don't need to have a degree. The learning point is endless, and you can continue to grow and develop. Absolutely. And that's one of the beautiful things about this industry is there's always something new to learn because technology moves so fast. There's always something to learn, and there's always someone else that you can share something that you've learned with. So you can tell somebody else, you can help somebody else out, even if you're only a few months into your journey. There's somebody that doesn't know as much as you, and you can explain something. I think that's probably the most fun thing that I've seen is a junior developer being able to teach somebody else something about what they do. Not because they're like the smartest person in the room, but because they just learned something that somebody else doesn't understand or know yet. And I think that's something to remember here. Uh, no matter what, is that you not only that you share your knowledge, but also that you understand that to many, many, many people, even what little you've learned so far makes you an expert compared to them. And they don't have the training, they don't have the knowledge that you have, and any amount of knowledge and training that you've received makes you an expert to the vast majority of humanity. We spend a lot of time kind of in the echo chamber of the technology world and the development world. And the longer we're in that, the less we feel like we know and understand, and the less smart we think that we are. But the reality is that the amount of people who have that knowledge is very, very small. Let's just target. Let's see. Let's see how many developers in the world. Versus total adult population. Let's see what the old thing comes up. Developers make up roughly 0.75% of the total adult population. Worldwide total adult population ages 15 and above is about 6.3 billion. So if you ever find yourself, we kind of talked about imposter syndrome yesterday a little bit, but if you ever find yourself thinking that you are not that smart or that you don't deserve to be in this industry, yada, 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 right? Just keep in mind that you are in the less than 1% of the entire world's population that has any idea how to do the things that you know how to do. We really are still special, and I know we don't feel like we're special that much, especially with AI coming around and acting like it's going to take everybody's jobs. There's billions of people who cannot do what we can do, who have no desire to do it, who feel scared to even think about trying to understand it. We really are a special niche of people. I don't know if that's the right way to say it. Niche. I don't know. We really are a special group of people still, and even if we keep growing that number, I mean, less than 1% of the population of the world, adult population of the world, less than 48 million developers globally, and so I think it's important for us to remember that even though it may feel like and even look like we're not progressing the way that we want to in our journey, there's a very few per capita number of people who know what we know. So share what you know with others, and use what you know to help other people. So that's my encouragement for the day. Let's see. Many companies don't see the value in training good developers. One issue is funding, and that's quite a significant issue. Companies need to understand what a junior level developer is. They should always clarify what is expected for the role. Absolutely. I will agree, not every company is set up to be able to do that. And maybe that's part of the problem. Maybe we need a better solution to help the overall industry, as opposed to just saying, hey, all the companies are bad if they're not mentoring junior devs. Because there is a fiscal impact to mentoring developers on the job. And that's not just what you're paying that junior developer. It's also the time that is taken away from senior developers who are there in the mentoring process as well. Again, this is why when I really first started mentoring junior developers, it was a couple of jobs ago. And the main, I've always been helpful to other developers, but the main reason why I was able to actually really mentor is because that became part of my job description. I was literally 50% of my job before I got the job was told to me as mentoring. I was told there were going to be 2 junior devs. there, and that the expectations were that I was to help them get up to speed and mentor them into being mid-level developers, and we were able to do that. Oh, excuse me. Oh, this afternoon, man, they kill me. I need to start drinking coffee or something in the afternoon. Um, we were able to do that because the company recognized the need to do that and prioritize that from a monetary standpoint. That's fairly unique. There's not a ton of companies in the dev world that are willing to do that. Many of the ones that say they do don't do it well, if they really do it at all. So I think there probably needs to be something between basic learning and boot camp and the hiring of a junior dev, and I don't know what that looks like, frankly, because I haven't seen it, and I have ideas, but I don't think most companies would go for it. So again, it comes down to money a lot of times, and expectations. Again, everybody wants the most for the money that they're going to spend, so that's why the expectations for a junior developer are so high, unfortunately. Ming says it's getting tougher and tougher now. I had a recruiter call for a junior role today, and I looked at the junior job description, and it required experience already, plus knowing how to use AI. Yeah, again, I mean, I think one of the things that we need to do is start pushing back on companies saying that they're hiring junior devs, but asking for things that junior devs don't have or shouldn't be expected to have. I don't want to say that we should bully them, but we should certainly be pushing back and making it clear that what they're asking for is not logical. It just doesn't make sense. And I think we need to find a way to push back on that and fix some of those expectation issues. Ming says, when I started, one friend was a dev already, then it was me and another friend trying to break in. My friend that got hired within 6 months, we learned together. When he got hired, he just left me behind, just didn't care about my struggles anymore. Had to just find on my own feet and look for other people in the dev world and network really hard to find a mentor. Yeah, networking is a big key to that. And unfortunately, even people who want to be mentors don't always have the time to do it one-on-one as much as probably is needed. That's why it really should be in a company environment, but that's just so hard to find. Eventually I found a mentor, and he taught me a wealth of knowledge. He taught me from the ground up to be confident. Yeah. And again, that kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier, right? Like we are part of, if you have learned basic coding, you are part of 1% of the entire world's adult population. And that's assuming age 15 and up. So, that's a little bit broader than probably I would have made it, but thank you, Google. But yeah, that's a good point, Ming. If you hadn't networked really hard, you wouldn't be where you are today. Mentorship is difficult, or is definitely a requirement for juniors. Some people are really clever and they can figure things out quickly. Everyone is different. Some pick it up much faster than others, but on the whole, anyone coming from boot camps or uni doesn't really have experience. Have the experience part from those many projects. Absolutely. And that's the thing. You need mentoring through your projects. You need to do a real world project. You need to work on a real world project with real world problems, with real world consequences for not building it well, right? But you need to be mentored through that process as well. And that is really where most of this process fails, quite frankly. So, yeah. So, just a little bit of encouragement, guys. What's that? That famous line from years ago? Be the change, right? If you want to see change in the industry, be the change. So, if you want to see better interaction in the industry, be somebody who's better at interacting and providing feedback and mentoring. Yeah, we learned the hard way, Ming. There's no reason why you can't learn it now with AI, especially if you can get AI to explain it to you these days. So AI can be a learning tool and a teaching tool these days. So, but I just encourage you guys, even if you don't think you know much, you know more than most of the people in the world when it comes to writing code and building applications. So, that's not, I don't say that to make you feel proud. I say that to encourage you that you have taken on something that is very difficult and you have succeeded where many wouldn't even try. So, even if you're having a hard time finding a job, even if you're having a hard time in your first job, um, recognize the things that you have already accomplished is something that 99% of the world has not accomplished and wouldn't even try, most likely. Can't tell you how many people I've talked to who just kind of shake their heads about development as if it's something really, really hard. And I think for a lot of people it is. I think a lot more people could do it, but I just don't think they're wired to do it. And if we're wired to do it, then we should take advantage of it. We should keep pushing through it and trying to make it a viable part of our life, because I think it will be over time. It may not be in the timeline that you want, but I think over time, if you continue to stick with it, if you learn the tools that are available to you, specifically nowadays, the AI tools that are available to you, but don't lean on them completely, still learn and grow and know what it is that we're actually doing, what the AI is actually doing when it's writing code. If you will do those things, I I can't guarantee it, but I feel very strongly that eventually you will break through into the market, and I think you can. I think you will, and I think you'll be. I think you'll be better for it in the long run. So, Ming says, I still remember those days when I was starting. It was a killer compared to now with AI. Yeah, development is tough, but it's more about the mindset. I'm definitely living proof. Yeah, absolutely, Ming. I would totally agree with that. A lot of it is mindset. I mean, there were. I mean, I I moved on to something else from the time I started working for my from the time I stopped working for my brother to the time that I got my first real coding job. Um, I I wasn't sure I was going to be able to actually be in the development world, and yet here I am, 15 years later almost, and still going strong. uh, Maybe my coding skills are not as strong as they used to be, but I'm still here. So anyway, again, sorry, a little bit somber today. Just didn't have a great topic, and kind of seeing some news this afternoon that um, made things a little difficult to be happy-go-lucky. So hopefully tomorrow will be a little bit better for you guys. I should be here tomorrow evening, or tomorrow afternoon at 4 o'clock, 4 to 4:30. Ming says there's a full stack web project, but I built but struggled really hard with it, but eventually pushed through it. Yeah, yeah. I mean, you never know what that stuff is going to do for you, and even the process of pushing through taught you things that you can talk about, and you can talk about as if somebody who's done something for real in real life in the industry. So, anyway, I will see you guys tomorrow. Thanks, Ming, for jumping on here and joining the conversation. As always, if you're watching this later on YouTube, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment. It just helps the algorithm push this out and tell other people about us being here. Although I don't know if this is the one necessarily we want to be pushing out with all the somberness at the beginning, but yeah, you never know. You never know. That might connect with somebody too. So anyway, have a great day. I will see you guys tomorrow at 4 p.m. Central United States time till 4:30, most likely, just like we were today. And I was on time, Ming, just to rub that in. So there. Have a great day. I'll see you guys.